Welcome to This Explainer. Okay, we're jumping right in today. We are looking at the absolute anatomy of a modern digital fortress. We're going to examine the CanaRetail case study, literally stripping it down to the studs to see exactly how a massive retail giant defends itself in the modern age. It's kind of like looking at the blueprints of a high-tech digital castle.
150 million Canadian dollars. And just to be clear, that is not their annual revenue. No, that is strictly their annual IT budget. Think about that for a second. What does it actually take to defend an empire of that size against modern digital threats? Where exactly does all that money go? And honestly, is it even enough to stop a highly dedicated cybercriminal? Let's find out.
So, here's our game plan. We'll start by mapping out the CanaRetail empire, then we'll look at their robust digital backbone. After that, we'll break down that $150 million IT defense, define their risk appetite, and finally, we'll analyze their cyber threat matrix.
All right, Section 1, the CanaRetail empire. The sheer scale we're dealing with here is honestly just massive. Founded back in the late 20th century, CanaRetail boasts 100 physical stores stretching all the way from Toronto to Vancouver, and the whole operation is orchestrated from their bustling Montreal headquarters. But, they aren't just brick and mortar anymore. They operate a seriously robust online shopping platform, too. Add to that their unwavering commitment to ethical sourcing and a highly engaging loyalty program that's constantly tracking millions of customer touchpoints. Now, why does this matter to you? Well, this complex blend of physical retail and e-commerce creates a vast, incredibly high-value target. Every single loyalty point, every online order, every physical swipe of a credit card, those are all data points that cybercriminals absolutely want to get their hands on.
Moving on to Section 2, a robust digital backbone.
Okay, so the absolutely crucial point here is their hybrid approach. They anchor their whole operation with a primary Montreal data center, which is completely decked out with redundant power and cooling to guarantee maximum uptime. But they definitely don't stop there. They employ a really flexible hybrid cloud model, partnering up with both AWS and Microsoft Azure. Across all 100 stores, they rely on real-time point-of-sale or POS systems, and connecting this entire sprawling web is a software-defined wide-area network, an SD-WAN, that's protected by a really strict zero-trust architecture. Basically, their whole security philosophy is never trust, always verify for literally every single device and user on the network, no exceptions. And all of this brilliantly illustrates the absolute core of the operation, the ERP. You've got to think of the Enterprise Resource Planning System as the digital heartbeat of CanaRetail. It is the central nervous system integrating everything. We're talking the supply chain, financial management, HR, CRM, and e-commerce, all utilizing real-time AI analytics to give store managers and executives instantaneous insights right on their mobile devices. The big takeaway here is that the ERP is, without a doubt, CanaRetail's most critical asset. If this heartbeat stops, the entire nationwide operation just grinds to an absolute halt.
Next up, Section 3, the $15 million IT defense.
So, how do you protect all of that? Well, you protect it with the sprawling IT department, led directly by a chief information officer who reports straight to the CEO. That CIO wields that staggering 150 million CAD budget we hooked you with at the start, and it's on their shoulders. It's the CIO's sole responsibility to ensure this massive financial and technological investment directly aligns with the company's broader business and security goals.
Let's actually break down the defense forces funded by that huge budget. First, they have a dedicated Security Operations Center, or SOC, that tirelessly monitors network traffic and hunts down cyber threats in real time. Then, they have a Network Operations Center, the NOC, guaranteeing that the network never goes down. They've also got specialized teams for infrastructure and application management. But, perhaps the most vital defense they have is human. CanaRetail heavily invests in continuous staff training, and they even partner with the local business school in Montreal for university rotation and internship programs. They are actively out there cultivating a highly skilled, adaptable cyber army.
Which brings us to Section 4, defining risk appetite.
Notice the really delicate balancing act going on here. Their overall strategy is moderate, making them essentially risk neutral. Now, they have a high appetite for innovation and tech adoption because they have to stay competitive in the retail space. But their tolerance for a data breach or reputational damage, that is firmly low. And for regulatory and compliance errors, it's very low.
They simply cannot afford the legal repercussions of mishandling Canadian consumer data. So they have to constantly push the envelope with new e-commerce tech, while simultaneously keeping the vault doors welded shut. It's an incredibly difficult tightrope to walk.
Finally, Section 5, the Cyber Threat Matrix. Scenario 1 is a true digital siege. Just imagine a sophisticated ransomware variant infiltrating CanaRetail's central servers, maybe through a simple phishing email opened by a head office employee. The malware propagates, silently encrypting vital customer purchase histories, supplier details, and financial records. Then the attackers demand a massive ransom in cryptocurrency, threatening to delete or publicly leak the data. This scenario would completely cripple that ERP heartbeat we talked about, halting retail operations across all 100 stores instantly. It's a total nightmare.
But the greatest danger doesn't always come from the outside, right? Scenario 2 is the insider threat. Step 1. A disgruntled IT employee already has trusted, privileged access to the network. Step 2. Over several weeks, they silently exfiltrate highly sensitive data, completely bypassing external firewalls because, well, they're already inside the zero-trust perimeter. Step 3. That stolen data is sold to the highest bidder on the dark web. It is incredibly insidious because it abuses the very trust the system requires to operate.
Finally, let's juxtapose two different but equally devastating vulnerabilities. First, POS malware. This is a highly targeted, localized threat where malicious software is introduced to physical checkout terminals, skimming customer credit card data directly at the source. Contrast that with an unsecured cloud. Now, this is massive virtual negligence. Just one simple misconfiguration by an IT engineer during a routine update could leave an entire cloud storage bucket wide open, exposing millions of customer records to the public internet. Both lead to absolute catastrophic breaches, but one is a calculated attack, while the other is just a simple, albeit massive, human oversight.
So, I want to leave you with this thought. You've seen the sheer scale. A sprawling $150 million IT budget, AI-driven analytics, and a really strict zero-trust architecture. But looking at those threat scenarios, is any retail giant truly safe from human error? Can money completely engineer away the risk of a misconfigured cloud server or a disgruntled employee? It's a fascinating, kind of scary reality of the digital age that we all live in. Keep that in mind the next time you tap your card at checkout. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and keep questioning the world around you.